Welcome to the Success in Africa podcast with Dr. Modupe, your weekly dose of leadership vitamins to make you successful in Africa.
Welcome to the Success in Africa podcast, episode 22. My name is Dr. Modupe Taylor Pierce, and I am a scholar and practitioner of leadership and organizational development. Simply put, I study what makes people successful. I have been doing this for 3 decades now with a particular focus on people in Africa. And in this podcast, I will share stories, lessons, and insights about people having success in Africa. Why this podcast? Because I am sick and tired of Africa being the poorest continent in the world. We are blessed with the greatest resource, young people. Africa will soon have the largest number of working age people in the world, and when these people achieve success, Africa's wealth will be unparalleled. Why? Because I don't know of too many Africans whose goal in life it is to die poor. You see, success in life is simply the achievement of a predetermined goal. Whether that goal is owning a house and a car, or creating employment for 5,000 people, or transforming your community, this podcast has been created to help you to achieve it. So, if you are serious about achieving success in Africa, I want you to subscribe to this channel. If you like this video after you've watched it, please click the like button. This podcast is brought to you courtesy of BCA Leadership, the largest leadership enhancement company in Africa. If you have questions that you want me to answer after watching this video, just log on to BCA Online. The link is on the screen, and post your questions there. That is where I will respond to your questions. This month, we are back to exploring success in the for-profit sector. Our learning tip today is problems worth solving. Let me say that again. Problems worth solving. You see, I run into lots of would-be entrepreneurs who ask me how to get started in entrepreneurship. And my answer is usually the same. Find a problem worth solving. Every business solves a problem. It is by solving a problem that the business generates revenue, because the persons who have that problem, they are willing to pay for the product or service that the business provides, which solves the problem for the persons. You see, for example, a restaurant solves the problem of ready-to-eat food for a consumer. Kenya Airways, for example, solves the problem of how to get from Ghana to Kenya in a short amount of time for most people. The world is not short of problems. It is full of them. However, most people prefer to run away from or avoid problems. Those people end up usually working for somebody else. You see, some people, when they can't avoid problems, they just prefer to complain about the problems, or sometimes just analyze the problems ad nauseum. These people, again, they usually end up being employees as well. The people who create profitable business are those special, crazy people who love to seek out problems and find solutions to them. They have little time for avoiding or complaining. They are in the problem hunting and solutions business. However, being in the problem hunting and solutions business, while necessary, is not sufficient for creating a profitable business. One must find a problem worth solving. What is a problem worth solving? A problem worth solving is one that is preferably experienced by a lot of people versus only a few, and preferably by a lot of middle class and upper income people. This is because solving problems for poor people, while commendable, usually does not give you a profitable business. This is how charities and non-profits are created. Finding problems that only a few people have, it also creates an unprofitable situation because the customers may not be sufficient in quantity to sustain the business. So, to be successful in doing business in Africa, find problems worth solving. This is what Bethlehem Alemu did in Ethiopia. Bethlehem Alemu is the oldest of 4 siblings and the only girl child of her parents. She recognized at an early age that solving problems was the key to being successful, and realized that Ethiopia's big problems were too often, in fact, being solved by foreigners, even though its small problems were also being solved locally through local ingenuity. She worked for a short time in the leather industry after college and realized that Ethiopian craftspeople are very good at using old rubber to create shoes for themselves. She decided that this artistry should be harnessed to create a brand that would sell Ethiopian craftsmanship to the world. She realized that the people of the world had the problem of finding footwear that was made with green manufacturing methods. And knowing how much the world spends on footwear, she figured this is a problem worth solving. soleRebels was born out of this idea. In the year 2005, Bethlehem founded the company to provide ecologically and economically sustainable jobs for her community. She organized many skilled artisans in her community who were living in economically difficult situations to create shoes under a single brand with a distinctive look and consistent quality. Then she marketed the shoes to an international market. The soles of the shoes were made from recycled car tires, making the shoe environmentally friendly. From a small workshop on a plot of land owned by Bethlehem's grandmother to today, where soleRebels boasts of over 300 employees in Ethiopia alone and a global distribution network that sells shoes in 30 countries worldwide. soleRebels has experienced phenomenal growth and continues to be the world's fastest growing shoe company, with its products being sold through global retail chains like Amazon, Urban Outfitters, and Whole Foods, and also through company-owned stores located in places like Singapore, Switzerland, and Taiwan, and of course, Ethiopia. Bethlehem recognized that instead of Ethiopians being recipients of aid and consumers of Western products and services, they could become producers of products that could be sold and marketed to the world. She recognized that her fellow Ethiopians who were artisans had a problem. Their products were not uniformly made under a recognized brand, quality was not consistent, designs were not desirable to their eyes, and there was no reliable distribution channel to bring the products to a global market, and no marketing machinery to make the global market aware of these products. So Bethlehem created a company that provided all of these services to the artisans. She also recognized that the world needed shoes that were ecologically and environmentally friendly, as awareness of the dangers of climate change were making consumers more intentional about buying green manufacturing products. And she realized that if she made these products look aesthetically pleasing and attractive, the market would respond positively. And this is exactly what happened. 12 years after starting soleRebels, Bethlehem has recognized another problem worth solving, providing a distribution channel for the producers of Ethiopian coffee to connect them to global consumers. She has launched a new company, the Garden of Coffee, which aims to create a global brand that will ensure that the financial benefits of world-class Ethiopian coffee will stay in Ethiopia with Ethiopians rather than be remitted to global companies like Starbucks, which will maintain the majority of the revenue. You see, Bethlehem was born and raised in Ethiopia. She went to school in Ethiopia, and she has not lived anywhere else in the world but Ethiopia. She is an example of the fact that one does not have to be educated or lived in Europe or North America to become a successful entrepreneur in Africa or to run a global business selling products and services to the world. She simply had the perception to recognize a need, the vision to see what was possible, the courage to start, and the discipline to follow through on her plans. Today, even though she's a successful global icon and juggles the responsibilities of being a wife and a mother of three, Bethlehem still wakes up every morning at 4 a.m. and is at the gym by 5 a.m., keeping herself fit, and then she returns home to get her children ready for school, after which she then goes to work. It is this level of self-discipline that has enabled her to organize hundreds of artisans to create products of consistent quality and availability for a global market. Folks, the journey of Bethlehem Alemu can teach us a lot. But rather than me distill that, I'm just going to share lessons we can learn directly from the mouth of Bethlehem herself. She provided in an interview 6 learning points as her 6-point plan for everlasting success. First, love your customers passionately and always, because without them, you have nothing. Second point, create truly awesome products that your customers will love and deliver these products with awesome service so your customers will love you back. Third, market honestly, because nobody likes to be scammed. Fourth point, stay agile and always be ready and eager to examine all of your assumptions and react and change when your assumptions turn out to be wrong. Fifth point, be open and transparent and responsive, especially to your customers. And the 6th of the 6-point plan for everlasting success, embrace failure, because nobody creates true awesomeness by being timid. I don't think I could have expressed it better myself. One of Africa's most successful entrepreneurs of the last 2 decades has distilled these nuggets for you. So before I close the podcast, let me just give you the 6 nuggets again. Number 1, love your customers passionately. Number 2, create awesome products and deliver them with awesome service so your customers will love you back. Number 3, market honestly. Number 4, stay agile. Challenge your assumptions. Examine them. Number 5, be open, transparent, and responsive. And number 6, oh boy, embrace failure. Be bold. Because timidity does not create transformation. This brings us to the end of today's podcast. I look forward to reading your comments and feedback about this podcast. Next week, we will continue to learn about success in business. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Tell your friends about it. Together, we can transform our beloved continent. See you next week.
Tomorrow belongs to those people who prepare for it today. See you next week.